Hello everyone, and welcome to a new episode of Mythic. I'm your host Spencer, and I am joined by my co-host, a woman whose TikToks are so good, so pristine, that even Wizards of the Coast is taking notice. Mythic
What?
Mikaela.
Hello.
I heard. Wait, is that not true? I heard that some WotC staff commented on your TikTok. Is that not true?
Not that I'm aware
People
of,
telling me lies.
but I don't know. I've been very off social media for a week, so
Sure. Been busy.
yeah.
Been busy.
I don't know. Maybe I'm just ignoring comments.
That's fair.
Wouldn't put it past me.
Also, TikTok, you just get a lot of comments. There's just a lot of comments on TikTok.
Oh yeah, for sure. I have to set myself assign time to okay, I have to stop being an introvert and talk to people online.
Right. That's fair. Speaking of stopping talking to people, this is the saddest transition in history. Because I'm not a fan of bearing the lead, Mikaela. I don't want to say this is the last episode of Mythic with me and Mikaela, because I don't know what the future brings. Who knows? But we're going to stop doing the show for the time being. For an indefinite amount of time is the word I would probably use. And so
Sounds reasonable.
Yeah. So we're going to talk about that today. Before we do, we want to talk about the point of the show, which is being #ready for battle. Mikaela, I'm going to go first this week. This was... I texted you, I want to say it was 2 weeks ago, letting you know that things were going down at work and that my life might be changing, and it kind of all snowballed really fast. But one of the things that I tried to do during those last couple weeks, because I think we even missed last week's podcast, was I really tried to just continue to stay ready for this podcast. I knew that we had historic power rankings coming up. Historic had changed so much, so I've just been playing a ton of historic. I don't know if you're aware of what Fire Shoes did to the format with Tybalt's Trickery, or what the 1 mana make a crab, make a token, invest a clue token has done to the format, Mikaela. But this format is completely different than it was before Jumpstart Horizons. And I've been playing a ton. The format has a lot of really powerful decks, a lot of really powerful new cards. It definitely got shook up a ton. And so I did a deck tech on the YouTube channel on Gruul Shamans, using a card that Mikaela called out. What is the name of it, Mikaela? It's the 1/3 prowess. I think it's Harmonic Prodigy.
Is it the wizard?
Yeah, the wizard, Harmonic Prodigy.
I don't remember the name.
Yeah, I think that's it. If we're gonna end this show for a while, at least I got one name under my belt. But it was really fun to get to play that deck, get to play a bunch of Jeskai. Burning Tremissary is really good when it makes 4 mana and lets you instantly cast your collected companies again. Let me tell you something that's sweet. That's it. That's the sweet thing. And then, so I've been playing a ton of that, just kind of preparing for this podcast, and we'll kind of get into how I'll hopefully use that information going forward. But Mikaela, what about you? You've been really busy at work, so
Yeah.
Are you ready? Are you ready for battle for your new job?
Gosh, I don't know what I'm ready for battle for right now. I am all over the place between I've been out of town 2 weekends in the past 3 weeks. I'm trying to get everything with my job all squared up before I leave, and then I start a new job. I do have a week break, thankfully. So, it's not been really thinking about what do I want to pursue in Magic, but I am starting to get to that point that, new set's coming up. It's time to get excited about this, and what's going to excite me, and what's going to what am I going to do with this new set, and where am I going to start? So,
Did you see Delver of Secrets was previewed today?
I did. I don't like that card.
You don't like? Well, not even with your favorite red and blue sorcery.
Okay, maybe that changes things, but let me tell you, I have. No, you have no do you know how much Magic I was playing when Delver Standard was a thing?
I was
a lot.
I was gonna say it might be the most Magic I've ever played.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I'm pretty sure I won a PTQ because I refused to play Delver because I finally was just like, I'm not playing Delver. I'm not registering this deck. I hate it.
Did you play
It never
Pod?
goes well for me. I played Solar Flare. So,
That's impressive because that deck was not as good.
you can dead weight a guys the same draft, so
That's true. That's factual.
Mhm.
That's factual.
that's all you know.
I mean, I do like Sun Titan. Don't get me wrong.
Mm-hmm.
It's just impressive that you could beat Primeval Titan decks and Pod decks, and I guess I don't know when this happened in the format, but
Yeah, I definitely played Pod. I think that was when was that? I think it was after that.
Pod was usually bad at the beginning of that first Delver format because the format was so small. So like you had to get more cards for Pod to get better. But like the Primeval Titan decks, like Wolf Run came out pretty shortly after, stuff like that. They were really good against Solar Flare, so it's impressive that you won a PTQ. Delver of Secrets though, that card. So that doesn't excite you. What excites you? What do you see on these spoilers or these preview cards that you're like, yes, this is the thing that I'm excited about?
I'm not gonna lie, not a whole lot because sometimes I would like check Twitter during breaks at work, and I have not had a break at work for a solid 2 weeks.
Fair enough.
So,
Fair enough.
not a lot, but I saw flashbacks coming back, which was kind of like my top thing that I want to see come back. I suppose that's like not a surprise, but I don't know. Maybe they could have done it in Stride without it, right?
Yeah.
So really excited for that. Really excited for Dollar Store spider spotting.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know the name of the card. That's Dollar Store spider spotting.
I don't know the name of the card either, but that was great. Leave a comment. First comment that get it right. We'll give some credit to MTGO Traders here on the YouTube channel. So leave a comment with the name of the card because we don't have time to look it up. We don't have time for that.
But yeah, I'm just very excited to dive into this draft format, and something I want to start working on is maybe trying to get a better idea of early draft formats. I think I've kind of had some intuition around that recently as I've been playing more draft, but I'd like to try to like put some data behind that and some ideas and take that to another level.
The draft, the 1 minute draft breakdown TikToks coming to you from Mikaela Downs. Let's go.
Maybe.
Who knows? Who knows? So that's gonna do it for our Ready for Battle segment. It's time to say goodbye. It was funny. I text Mikaela. I was like, what do you want? Like, do you want to say goodbye on the show? Do you want me to just make a post? She's like, whatever you want. And I was like, well, that's not helpful. Here's the thing, Mikaela, is I have been pretty open that I really enjoy podcasting with you. And I'm sad. I'm not gonna pretend not to be sad. But you mentioned you got your new job, right? You've got your new job. You've got I in the time that we've done this show got a new job. My responsibilities at work, I'm trying to get changed. Not only am I trying, but like they're gonna change. And then also, our lives are kind of going in an interesting direction where it's not that neither of us can create content. It is that we want to prioritize the type of things that are important to us and make sure that we're doing things that keep us happy, but also continue to progress the things that we love. And I love this show. I would do the show with Mikaela in a heartbeat whenever I have time. And right now, as I look forward to what I'm going to be working on, I probably won't have as much time for Mythic. Do you want to say anything on your side?
Yeah, I'm sad this current chapter is ending right now, but I think both of us have a lot of opportunities to look forward to.
Yeah.
And a lot of other exciting ideas to pursue too.
Yeah, I think that like for me, one of my favorite things about this is that I think I've made like a pretty real friend in you. I feel like I've been able to be really open with you about my life. It feels like you've been able to be really open with me about your life. And I legitimately think that I could just text you about something and like we could talk about it, and that's worth more than, you know, doing 100 more episodes to me. It's just like knowing that there's this person that, you know, I'm friends with now, that it's pretty cool. And also, the show has it's, I think one of the sadder things, and I said this before the show, is that this show was going in a specific direction, and it ending means that, like, that direction kind of has to end. And that's really sad, because I think that we had a clear vision for what we wanted to give to the listeners. And it's a little bit of sweet, and I'll say why. I am not done Magic podcasting, Mikaela, and you know this, but I am actually going to go back to constructive criticism as a co-host and take on full production duties for that show, as well as joining it again. And, you know, I did that show last week with them. Oh man, I might cry over all of this. It's funny because, like, you know, I did 300 plus episodes of that podcast. It was like my baby, and I really wanted to make Mythic cast that. Like, I wanted to do the same thing. And it makes me sad that, like, I'm probably not going to have the time to do that and to make it work. And yeah, it makes it's funny because, like, this is the first time anybody other than you or them are hearing about it, and, like, sounds so sad about it. And I'm really excited to go back to constructive criticism. For what it's worth, it's my baby. Like, it's this thing that, this idea, this twinkle in my eye that, you know, became so much bigger than that. If you just look at the network and, like, what we're able to achieve, it's really cool to go back to this thing that I care so much about. But it is a little bit bittersweet. So I'll be doing that. I'm going to continue trying to do deck techs on the YouTube channel and stuff like that, but that'll probably be it for my Magic content. But I'm curious what are people looking for? What can people look forward to from you next, Mikaela?
Yeah, absolutely. I have some thinking to do about my direction. I know trying to do a podcast, what all that entails is not necessarily my thing. Co-hosting is great, and I appreciate this opportunity, Spencer. It's been great, and it's been really cool taking on almost like a challenge that I really didn't expect was going to be something that was my thing. So, you know, I started this TikTok about a little over a month ago now. So I'm hoping maybe I can take some of my competitive Magic knowledge and apply that to TikTok. I've been mostly comedy based over there, but I'd love to start posting a little bit more serious, a little bit more educational, and see where that can go.
I love that. There's a lot of room for that, I think, on Magic TikTok right now, where most of the TikTok stuff is comedy, and, you know, it's easier to do that in those 1 to 3 minute bursts. But I'm excited to see what you do there. Are you going to continue to stream and stuff, or are you going to? Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Streaming has definitely taken a back seat in the last, like, 9 months or so. But my goal is to at least keep it 1 day a week. But as my son gets older, it's harder to find that time to, like, have 3 to 4 hours straight to just sit and play Magic.
Yeah. Well, I kind of want to wrap up these show notes. You know, the next thing that we have is, you know, what has Mythic Cast meant? And I'll go first. You know, this was an idea between me and a friend to promote people who achieved Mythic, and I think that, you know, we did a lot of that. Like, we promoted a lot of players at the time of this show that gave them an opportunity to talk about their Mythic runs and things like that. And hopefully, like I said, I am not closing the door on one day coming to Mikaela and be like, hey, so you want to do this thing again? Like, I'm not closing that door. But I'm happy that, like, I got to meet the people that I got to meet. I got to meet Mikaela. I got to do podcasts with, you know, I thought that the reception for the podcast that we just did with Andy was super awesome. Like, people really loved it. It said they helped them a lot. And that's always the goal. Like, I've always said that if I could help one person with my content, then my content was worth it. And so, yeah, that's kind of what it meant to me. What about you?
Yeah, I've loved our guest episodes have been so great because it's been really cool that the guests that we've had come on have so much passion for the deck that they were playing, and they're climbing to Mythic, and that brings a lot of really awesome energy to the show. But also when we got to talk about topics that we were excited and we were passionate about, which it was our focus, and along with that mythic climb idea, that those are fun. It's been really fun to be able to share my thoughts with everyone and discuss those thoughts with you and just put it out in the world.
I love it. Because I got this question last time I quit a podcast. Is there like something weird that's not being talked about? The reasons that the show's ending? No, it's work. Like, my work is changing. Mikaela's work is changing. I have more responsibilities on some other podcasts and other content. It's really just time management, and it's like, oh, is Mythic Cast like not the most important to you, Spencer? It's like, well, that's not what I'm saying. It's like, I only have so much space for Magic the Gathering. And if you look at like all of the Magic the Gathering projects that I'm a part of, I think it's fair to say that I only have room for for so much. But no, there's nothing weird. We're still friends, right, Mikaela? Like, there's no...
Well, I mean, I did find out I was the second most valuable member of the podcast.
Hold on, time out. That's not my fault. You can talk to Blake about that.
I'm kidding.
I do think that it's sad that I'll never get to see you check out your husband's butt as he walks by before the podcast again. That was great. I wish that just the look in your eyes as you checked out your husband was fantastic.
Okay, there's the weird thing that we hadn't talked about. Right there.
No, I don't know. Like, I made a real friend in this show, so like, there's nothing. It's nothing weird. Like, there's nothing nefarious or drama behind the scenes on this one. It's just sometimes things end. Like, that's part of being an adult, right, Mikaela? Is we have to make
hard decisions.
It's it sucks, right? Because like, obviously I wish that my entire life was playing Magic, doing Magic podcasts, and playing video games and doing video game content. Like, if that was my life, that would be great. But I work for a company that makes it so that children in hospitals that don't have money have funds to get the care they need. And I don't know, that's a little more important to me. I'm laughing, but it's to hide the sadness. I think that, like, I don't know. Maybe we'll do like a bonus episode or two sometime. Like, hey, Mikaela, do you wanna hop on and talk about something like that? That's something that I'm not opposed to every once in a while.
Yeah, maybe we're just really excited about something.
Exactly.
Maybe there's a sweet deck.
If people want to support you, whether it's on TikTok or whether it's your stream or whatever it is, Mikaela, how can they do that?
Yeah, following, interacting with me. Even if I did admit sometimes I get a little introverted online, that's totally normal. But yeah, following, interacting on TikTok, Twitch, Twitter is really great. I do love talking to everyone. It's just, gotta get myself in the mindset to talk. Yeah, it's a great way to support. And I love when I stream and like I can just show up and there's a group of people talking in chat. And sometimes maybe they're not even talking to me. Maybe there's just this own conversation going on in chat that I'm just like, okay, y'all have fun.
I have been in those conversations a lot where like something happens in a stream you're watching and then chat goes off onto a tangent and like and also I've been the streamer where this happens and you like look down and you're like, what are you guys talking about? That's great. If you want to support the stuff that I'm working on, I'm going back to constructive criticism. I'm excited about it. Like, in all honesty, I think that Abe and Mason are two great people to work with, and I'm excited to, I don't know, I'm excited to be back in what in a lot of ways is home. So check that out. Check out the rest of the network, and yeah, I also do a podcast about nerd culture. So like, if you like other nerdy things, we did a podcast with my co-host West Singleton, who didn't even mention Nerd On while he was our guest, by the way. I just want to throw him under the bus really quick. But I was like, where can people find you, West? And he was like, Twitter. And I was like, cool. I'm not going to promote our podcast, but we actually do a podcast together about nerd culture. It's really fun, and in all honesty, it was either give up doing a nerd culture podcast and do 2 Magic podcasts, or say goodbye to this one. And it's funny, Mikaela. It's almost like I have started to value balance in my life a lot more.
Shocker.
Being able to, it's funny because there was a time where I did multiple 3 Magic podcasts. I was just like, yeah, I can do that. And now it's like, I got a new baby and all that stuff. So check out Need to Nerd, check out He's a Game Media, check out the Constructive Criticism Network. I do plan on streaming again after my daughter gets older, but you'd have to be listening to this in probably over a year before I start streaming again. But it will never be Magic content. I will never stream Magic again, Mikaela. I don't like it. I don't know how you do it. It's not fun to me. I want to win so bad that I hate streaming it. I just feel like I have to be not Spencer to stream Magic.
I think I finally got myself to the point that I'm not so much worse while streaming.
It's not about being worse. It's about I want to
You want to feel the negative emotions when you need to feel the negative
emotions.
Yeah,
and not only that, but I was playing Magic and streaming for my friends on a Discord call. It was not really Discord. It's actually what we're recording on now, but that's beside the point. But I was playing, and he was playing Diablo, I was playing Magic, and I'm talking. He's like, "Is this the self-commentary that's in your head while you play?" And I was like, "Yeah." He's like, "Man, you really don't like your opponents." I was like, "No, I like him fine, but I have to convince myself that I'm gonna beat this guy into a bloody pulp in order to get the edge that I want." And you just can't you can't just call your opponent names in your head on stream. It just doesn't. I mean, you just can't say it out loud because that's mean. I don't really think that about that person. So I thought this was all funny, but now I sound like a psychopath. I'm glad that we put this out into the. It's I am cheering in my head for you to mold a 4. But also, don't do that. That's sad. I don't want you to do that. I want a fun game of Magic.
I want a fun game of Magic, but I'm not going to feel bad if.
I'll pretend to. And then, kind of before we say goodbye, I just want to say thank you. Oh man, see, I'm trying not to cry this episode, but I'm a crier, Mikaela. I don't know if you know this about me. I was in a really bad place this time last year when we started talking. And then I think right after we talked, I lost my job. And I don't know, the last year has been really rough for me. I know that it was rough for you too. I think it's been rough for everybody. But I just want to say thanks. You have been a bright spot for me since we met. And you're a good friend. And I know how caring you are, how much you care about the things that you put your mind to, and I just really appreciate you. And I'm sorry that I have to make this hard choice, but I just want you to know that I appreciate you.
Thank you. Like I said, I appreciate you. I appreciate you giving me the opportunity to co-host this podcast. It's been awesome, and it's been really good for my confidence too. So
good. You deserve that. You deserve that. You can check out the rest of the network over at GoodStrictCriticism.com. You can find me at Spencer H. You can find Mikaela everywhere at Mythic Mikaela. Don't forget to like, sub, and review wherever you're watching. You don't really have to review the podcast anymore unless you want to. Who knows if we'll win or if we'll come back. But you can check out our sponsor, Pure MTGO. And Mikaela, it's time to say goodbye.
For now.
Thank you everybody so much for listening. And hopefully we'll see you all again. We don't know when, but until then, see y'all next time.